No, go ahead.
So Jeff, we're going to be talking about being full-time in jiu-jitsu. Let's start off with, like, some of the pros. Like, what are some of the benefits of being like full-time jiu-jitsu instructor?
All right. Well, I can tell you right off the bat, I don't work as many hours as like a conventional person does. It seems like nowadays people are working 8 to 12 hours a day. I'm working like 5 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day. That's the biggest pro. Another pro, of course, is I actually like what I do. A lot of people don't get to say that, so I'm very fortunate to say that I like what I do. Yeah. It's rewarding, get to help people various types of ways, inspire people. That's rewarding,
I've known so many people that are like, man, I want to quit my 9-to-5 job and just teach jiu-jitsu, but they're like a blue belt. They're like a blue belt. I just can't wait to quit my job and do this full time. Like, they're just so happy to.
Yeah, when something's new, and I get you, I get it. Like when you first start jiu-jitsu, you're like, oh my God, I've never done anything like this. I didn't even know that something like this existed. Oh man, oh, I could train. Oh, the community's awesome. Everyone's cool. All this. I get it, it's a grind though, like I remember Lucas, I was talking to him, Lucas Lepre, shout out to him. And I remember him saying like, yeah, I like this, but it's still a job. Sometimes you don't want to show up. Sometimes just because you like it doesn't mean it's still not a job. It doesn't mean I don't have to grind. Doesn't mean that I have to deal with things that I don't like to deal with and anything like that. I think I was reading some of the comments below, and I think Zach was saying that your body, especially when you get older. And then another thing is too, when you're teaching a couple of classes, is even something we talked about before. It's like sometimes you come in, you're not like 100% warmed up, and you have to roll with someone, or you have to like kind of show them a technique. And I think that kind of takes this wear and tear on your body, especially when you get a little bit older. I think it's easy for a 21-year-old or 22-year-old blue belt to say like, yeah, I want to do this for a living. And it's like, yeah, well, you haven't really been injured yet. We'll see about that. So, hey, let's shout out to Boyan. I see him on there. Shout out to Boyan.
Where's he at? You can.
He's one of the Muay Thai coaches at the gym that I teach at. Really cool guy. And congratulations to him having his second son.
Oh,
so
congrats.
Shout out to Boyan. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Boyan?
Yeah, waving at him.
And can you repeat the question one more time?
Or
did I already answer it?
You answered it, but we're just talking about some of the upsides to being a full-time jiu-jitsu instructor. I'm trying to think of somebody. I think you hit most of them. I think you're always like.
So Wajin?
Wajin? I'll wave at it.
Girlfriend.
Trying to think of some other. There's like no benefits. That's it, guys. That's it.
I pay for my own health insurance, man. I pay for my own health insurance. I'll tell you, man. I'm a simple person. Anyone that knows me, I'm a simple man. Simple Jeff. You're not gonna make a lot of money. So if you want to make a lot of money, don't do this. Don't teach jiu-jitsu. You're not going to make a lot of money.
There's some guys that are making a killing, but, usually they have their own schools. They have their own schools. Yeah. They've been at it for a good while.
For a good while.
Yeah, a good while. Or they had, a lot of help in getting to that point. But that's like a small minority of people, of academies that are like, I could probably name them on one hand, probably.
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. Like, I feel like it's, I don't own an academy, but I imagine a lot of it's like month to month, It's just kind of a grind in that way, like you're making enough money to cover everything, barely cover everything.
The thing with an academy is that because, hopefully you're doing like a year membership. I know some schools, they do month to month, they're like, oh God. But usually most academies have a year. So like once you sign someone up, it's like, okay, you have that money for the rest of the year. So that's probably the upside. Like, like if I get this many students, I'm going to have this much money. So that is one thing I think it really offsets it. And also, say you have your own school, you can pass that to your family, right? You have your own academy, Jeff Academy, Jeff Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you can pass that to your son or your daughter at a certain point.
Hey, they might decide they want to do something else though, and then you're stuck. Old ass Jeff still run that.
Yeah, but
still run that gym.
They can always hire somebody.
You have someone else to teach. I'm just talking shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's not most. If you have like a regular 9 to 5, like you can't pass your position down to your kid. Like, well,
you wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, it would be tough, or you couldn't do it. What are some of the cons, Jeff? What are some of the cons of being a full-time jiu-jitsu instructor?
You want me to be honest, Alec? 100% honest?
Be honest,
I'll be 100% honest.
But don't don't incriminate yourself or anything. That's
too late. No, I'm joking. The cons. Well, man, I mean, you got a lot of people that expect things from you that are not really in your job description, you know? Oh man, you know, like what's the joke that we always make, Alec? What's the joke that we always make?
We make a lot of jokes.
Oh, we make a lot of jokes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and incriminate. Well, I incriminated you. Sorry, man. I'm about to incriminate us more. I think the main thing is, you know, we always make the joke that people expect you to be their coach, their best friend, their psychiatrist, their what else? What else they want you to be? Their
best friend,
their training partner, their best friend, their best friend, their best friend. Be my best friend. Why don't you want to hang out with me? You know, like I gotta go home, man. I gotta go hang out with my girl, man. I can't be here right now. I gotta go, man. Just no, don't get me wrong. Like I actually am really good friends with a lot of my you do develop a really strong relationship with a lot of your students and everything like that. So that's actually a pro, is that you actually do meet some really cool people. And
Garcia Grip says financial advisor, financial advisor, and marriage counselor.
Oh yes, financial advisor. Yes, you're right. Marriage counselor. Someone said marriage. Yes, marriage counselor. Yes. Yes, everything. Like people think that you have everything figured out. You're like, bro, listen, dude, I'm just as confused as you. If you have anything, you maybe you can give me some advice on some of these things. You know, like, shit, I'm still trying to figure some of this shit out myself, man. I always joke with people like, anyone have any questions? Jiu-jitsu related, you know, like I always like add that in, you know, like I'm like, man, I don't.
You're like, Jeff, my wife's cheating
I'm
on
just
me.
a human.
Jeff, my wife's cheating on me. What should I do?
I'd be like, why'd you tell me that? Why'd you tell me that? Some of this shit you gotta keep to yourselves, man. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna be like, damn, dude, that's fucked up. I'm really sorry that happened. Oh my God, I wish that didn't happen to you. I mean, I don't know. Well, that's what happens when you train jiu-jitsu all the time. And you don't ever come home. It goes back to Matt Daniel. Matt Daniel being like, Saturday training. I guarantee you Saturday training contributed to my first marriage not working. You know, that's what I think of, yeah. Dude, that killed me. That killed me when I saw that shit. I was like, oh my God. Because I remember like hanging out with Matt Daniel too. You know, like on some of these Saturdays or even like we would go to like that Mexican place, El Azteca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he would tell some funny stories and shit. And then, I don't know. But
I might try to get him on a live stream. That would be kind of fun.
Oh, dude.
All right,
please
Matt.
have me on there too.
All right, Matt. You got the platform, Matt? We all get kicked off.
I don't know. Yeah, we get kicked off. Sorry, Instagram. Sorry, guys. To see us in a couple months.
It'll be some more people. It'll be hilarious, though. It'll be hilarious.
Oh, we'll go out with a bang for sure.
What's some more cons, Jeffro?
I mean, it's a dangerous job, you know. Like, I don't care because I'm crazy. I mean, I do care. There are some people, and I'm sure that every instructor can agree with this. Like most people that you train with or that come to your classes are good people. And if maybe they don't have the best values, eventually they're going to figure some things out. You know, like I can definitely say that when I came to jiu-jitsu, I was like this cocky 18-year-old wrestler kid that fucking thought they could out wrestle jiu-jitsu. And you know, I figured it out throughout time that, okay, like I need to embrace jiu-jitsu. I need to be a better training partner. It's not about coming in here and beating the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
It's about learning, right? But then again, you got some people, and funny enough, they're not always young guys too. They don't have an excuse of being young. A lot of them are, shout out to Lucas Leprey Korea.
They're in the.
I see them.
Oh, hey, Korea.
Korea.
You going there, right, Jeff? Going to Korea next year?
I'm gonna go there in March. Yeah. My girl's Korean, so I'm gonna go there next March. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Going to Seoul. Apparently, it's super busy over there. So yeah, that's city boy life.
Got another question for you, Jeff, from Abdul ATL. Yeah. He said, "Did it ever cross your mind to open your own academy?"
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons in that. You know, like I think that the pro obviously is that it's yours. The con is that you got to have some type of money to start up. Now, I'm going to be honest. When or if I decide to start my own academy, I really don't want to go in business with anyone else. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think that it's something that it's kind of a personal thing. You know, you want to do it your way, and then at the same time, it's like it's a lot of responsibility, man. It's not just something that I enjoy teaching. But I don't know if I want to have my own gym necessarily. I'm not going to say I do. I'm not going to say I don't. But it's something that I don't know, man.
It's good to have the
it's a struggle.
Ability to at least maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, you're like, hey, I'm ready to have a school. At least you have the experience running a school and teaching at a school versus like some guys like, hey, I'm a blue belt. I haven't done anything. I'm just going to put all this money into this business that I've never really studied. And hope for the best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you can see some blue belts do that in like smaller areas where there's really like no jiu-jitsu. I mean, there's no competition. I mean, so you can be a blue or purple belt and start a gym in like, bumblefuck somewhere or whatever. Shouldn't have said it like that. Sounds kind of disrespectful.
It's true though.
I mean,
there's certain places where there's nobody there, so it's like there's only a blue belt guy that keeps there.
Someone said something funny. Someone's like, the pro is that it's yours. The con is that it's yours. Have to be ready for that. Yeah, that's true too. It's a responsibility. It's like a kid. It's like, I love my kid. And then the kid starts crying. You're like, I hate this kid. Let's stop crying. Just stop. Please. What do I got to do? It's a lot of responsibility. I mean, one of the cats that trains at my gym, he was telling me that one of his ex-instructors had a gym and ended up selling his gym to one of the students. And I guess he just wanted to spend more time with his family. So the thing is like, it can be something that you love doing. But I'm going to be honest, man. I mean, I love more than just jiu-jitsu, like I like other things too, and if anyone knows me, if you really know me, which very few people do, that I'm really like I'm the type of person like I like to do a lot of stuff. I don't like to just focus on like just one thing. And I feel like in a lot of ways, someone just asked us if they could borrow money for $5,000. Wow.
Well, read the question, Jeff.
Oh no, never mind. No, my bad. The question is, I think, is it appropriate to borrow money from for professors to borrow money from their students?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Don't borrow.
No. Don't do it.
I mean, maybe if it depends on like the relationship. If they knew each other for 20 years, okay, maybe in the circumstances. But if it's like, hey, you just started beginner's class 3 months ago, and now the guy's asking for $5,000, don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Would you take that $5,000, Jeff? Jeff's like,
nah. Yo, nothing in this life is for free, bro. We know that. But yeah, you just gotta. I mean, I tell you, man. I mean, the thing about teaching for like another gym, Um, there's pros and cons, right? So right off the bat, you can just teach your classes, go home. Maybe you stay a little bit longer, to help your students. But for the most part, you go home. Maybe spray the mats or whatever, go home, restart the next day. It's your academy. You might have to stay there for an extra couple of hours, making some calls, all sorts of stuff, Okay, someone asked me, has teaching helped your jiu-jitsu? Of course. Of course it has. There's been times that I wasn't teaching and it was just different. It was just like, okay, I was coming to class, do the moves, and I was kind of on autopilot. But when you are teaching, you cannot go on autopilot. Everything that you do, you have to look at it in a very analytical way. You have to be very very detailed. One thing, and I think we talked about this before, is that you can take things for granted, like when you are a higher belt, right? Things come so easy for me and you, Alec, because we've been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah.
But then we have to explain this to maybe not the most coordinated white belt or blue belt, and when that happens, or kid, just kid, this is super unathletic. You're so unathletic, kid. And you're going to have to you're going to have to find a way to break it down for them to figure it out. Any white belt tips? Stick with it, man. Stick with it. Number one, stick with it. Ask questions. Be consistent. Pretty much stick with it. Yeah, that's number one. Stick with it. Be consistent. Get out of your comfort zone. I can't tell you how many times that you might dismiss a technique, it doesn't work for me, but later on you're like, yo, this is my shit. I like this. So keep an open mind too.
We had another question from Yuri. I don't know if you see it.
Has teaching changing your view on different guards or passes? Oh, of course. Yeah, it has. I see things differently, man. I noticed the difference. You guys love your content. See you at Athens Grill. All right.
Athens Grill.
Shout out. We go there. It's across the street from the gym I teach at. Shout out to Athens Grill, Lawrenceville, Georgia. Whoop whoop. Best Euro in Lawrenceville. Yeah, you see things differently, man. When you teach, it changes the way that you see things, man. And that's that is one of the pros, is that I get to see jiu-jitsu in a way that most people don't get to see it. A lot of people are just like, yo, okay, sure, I'll do it. Yep. Just tell me what to do, I'll do it, But me, I have to be able to break it down, I have to be able to explain it. I have to be able to slow it down, break it down in phases. Yeah, it changes the way that you think, man. It's kind of a cool thing. That's one of the cool things about it.
I think another pro is that you get used to interacting with people. So it's pretty
not used to that.
It's like public speaking though, but you're used to commanding an audience, being like a leader. It's a great way to develop your own leadership qualities that you might not get in a regular job. You got your boss telling you what to do. A lot of times you have to make that decision right there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps you become more organized, and like you said, exactly, become a better coach for sure, or a better leader. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we figured out some more pros, guys. Before I was like, man, there's not that many pros.
There's got to be some pros. That's why I'm still doing it.
People treat you a little bit better. They got the Swedish truth.
Sometimes, yeah. Most of the time. Sometimes the pro and con of leading is that the pro is people do treat you with some respect, and then sometimes when shit goes wrong, then everyone blames you.
No, it's your fault.
And
you did it.
Yeah, you did it. You weren't there for me, coach. You weren't there for me when I girl cheated on me.
I mean, yeah, you take the blame. You take the blame when things don't go right all the time, or things don't go as fast as people want, or maybe somebody didn't sign up, so they blame the coach.
Oh yeah,
that kid's over there crying. That's the coach's fault.
Man, the kind of funniest thing is I'm pretty honest about who I am as a person. I try not to, you know, I don't hide. So even when I'm teaching kids, kid cries, I'm just like, why are you crying? You're just crying for attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't care, you know, like, you cry. I mean, of course, like, if the kid's seriously hurt, then I'm like, oh man, are you okay? But there's definitely times when kids who cry. Yeah, I mean, we can move into kids classes too. Like,
Yeah, we'll throw the kids in
that
there.
shit is hard.
Throw the kids
That
in there
is
too.
hard. Oh, bro.
Wait. What are some of the pros first? Let's get to the pros first.
Oh, it's rewarding. Number one, super rewarding. Super rewarding, man. Some of these kids, they come in there. Oh, bro, they're geeks. You know, like, I'm just being honest. They're geeks. You know, they come in there. They're not tough. They're crying. They're uncoordinated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're entitled. They're little punks, man. Some of them. But then they're little punks, man. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I was a little punk too. So I want to put that out there. I was a little shit growing up. I'm sure a lot of us were at some point of our life. I mean, that's how it is. You just don't know shit and you do stupid shshit. You're figuring in life, you know, yeah, I relate. Yeah. Alec made me a bitch. What did you do, Alec? What did you do to this guy?
I don't know, man. I didn't do nothing to you, Daniel. Don't put that on me like that. Man, we just trained, man. That's all we did was just train hard, man. That's it.
To you, it was training. To him, it was like he got his soul taken away from him. For you, it was just a walk in the park. For him, it's like he went home and he just started bawling and crying in his wife's bosoms. You know, he's just, oh my God, I'm not a man. I'm joking. I joke. I don't even know this guy.
Yeah, I think you would like Daniel. He's a cool kid.
I mean, the very fact that he said that, I mean, I think he's a funny guy.
I think there was another question from Yuri. It was about thoughts on ripping heel hooks from 50-50.
All right, well, I'm not a heel hook expert. I'm not a heel hook expert, but the main thing is, you know, I will definitely say in training, do not crank heel hooks in training. Please don't.
Don't do it, guys.
I mean, just don't do it. I mean, like, listen, like, if the guy knows, yes. Like, if the guy's training and he wants that, he needs that experience, yes, you need to do it a little bit, but don't rip it. Don't fucking rip that shit, because it's your training partner. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he needs to know, or she needs to know, like, when they're in danger. So there needs to be a little bit, just so they know the limitations.
Yeah.
But for the most part, don't be ripping. What do you love most about jiu-jitsu? What was that one? What do you love most about jiu-jitsu, being that you guys have been in it for so long? Oh man, the people. Number one, the community.
Mm.
There's really good people from all different walks of life. I'm very blessed to be part of this jiu-jitsu community. That's the best thing. Number one. Elijah, young stud, one of the up and comers.
Yeah, I'd probably say my relationships, you know, that's how I met you, Jeff, and like some of my best friends through jiu-jitsu. That's probably been my biggest takeaway. And just health in general, just from training all the time. It's a healthy lifestyle that you can maintain for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the cons?
The cons, you meet some cool people, but you meet some weirdos too. We met some weirdos, Alec. We met some weirdos, bro. Like,
people like don't want to be associated with. You're like, well, I wish I wasn't associated with this guy.
I mean, dude, should we name one of the most infamous?
No,
should we put that name out? No, we won't say it. But you know, but a lot of people that know our circle, they fucking know. They fucking can think of the number one guy that I can think of who's just a straight. I met some people that were like borderline, like, you know, I'm not trying to like talk shit about anyone that's suffering from like any type of like, you know, mental illness or anything like that. But I feel like I'm just gonna say it like this: like, there's a lot of people that have some serious mental illness, and they need, again, like, that's another thing that we can go back to, is a lot of people kind of think that you're their psychiatrist. And you got to be like, no, man, like I can't help you
Yeah.
with this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, some people need like professional help. They need,
Yes.
you know, someone that
I cannot help you. I cannot help you. I feel like jiu-jitsu a lot of times can help you with a lot of mental illness that you do have. Like, you know, if you have depression or some other things. Again, I'm not a psychiatrist. Please don't quote me on this, guys. But I'm just saying from my own personal experience, like if you're going through some shit, I feel like jiu-jitsu is a very good way of kind of getting past it. But there are some people that maybe something super traumatic happened to them, or
hey, happened at jiu-jitsu, you know.
it happened at jiu-jitsu. Ooh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Oof. And yeah, man, I met some borderline psychopaths too, man. I met some psychopaths, people that like, I feel like a lot of people are pretty good. Most people that do jiu-jitsu are good people, and I feel like it makes you a better person for most people. It makes you a better person. It makes you a more caring, it just makes you a good person, you know? But the problem is some people have this shit inside of them, and it just, some people, it makes them a worse person, because it's like you're giving them this power, and they're not going to use this power for good. They're going to use it for evil. They're going to use it to pick fights and be a more effective bully. We saw that happen a lot with quite a few people. You know,
I mean,
we're not going to name names because we're not going to incriminate ourselves, but yeah.
I mean, that's one downside to, I guess, to being professional, you know, jiu-jitsu instructor, is that they get away with a lot of things, you know, especially if they're really good at competing, they won a lot of tournaments, they're going to get away with like so much stuff.
Some of the shit that we heard that some of these guys were pulling, I'm like, you are one bold motherfucker to be trying to pull some shit like this, man. You are just, oh man, like we won't get into detail, but I mean, we talked about this before, Alec. I'm just like, you guys, some of these guys, man.
Yeah,
they're trying to run some fucking cults.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cult. That's like another thing, is there's a lot of weirdo. Like we talked about the weirdos. There's a lot of cults in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people that you gotta like sign your name in blood to the team.
That's that membership. You ready to sign up?
Yeah, sign your membership. Oh yeah, and let me spend a night with your girl too. No, I'm joking. That's messed up. Yeah, some of that shit.
Oh dang! Yeah.
Oh god. Some weird shit out there, guys. There's a lot of weird shit out there with some people in jiu-jitsu. That's all I'm gonna say.
Elijah's got a question. Elijah's got a question for you. He said, "Is there something that keeps you guys motivated as far as a goal?"
You know, now for me, I just do it for myself, and even when I teach the kids class. You know, especially got a lot of, it's mostly the parents, by the way. They're always asking, oh, stripes, belts, when are they gonna get their own stripe? Oh, when am I gonna get my new stripe, coach? And you just gotta explain to them, like, listen, are you doing this for fucking stripes? I don't say that to a kid. I don't say that. Like, are you doing this for stripes? Yeah, sometimes do this for effing stripes, kid. No, you do it for yourself. You do it for it's your own personal goals, guys. Like, I feel like over time, it's really unhealthy to always think about like other people and think about what they're doing. At least on my personal standpoint, I think that you really, here's something you heard many times before. You got to compete with who you were yesterday. Just make yourself a little bit better. You can have your own personal goals, but at the end of the day, and titles that you want to have, but at the end of the day, man, you're competing with yourself. I think that's what is going to keep you motivated and keep you going, is you versus you mentality, man. I feel like when you start letting all this other, like, people's names in your world and all this other shit, I feel like, man, that's not good for you. You need to stay, you're going to have to stay kind of like, competing against yourself. I think that's the number one motivation. Another thing too is I always just kind of think like, man, you know, I'm 32 years old and I'm in shape. I'm healthy in various types of ways, you know, like, man, that's my motivation. It's like, man, I don't want to get fat. I don't want to, I'm serious. I mean, I guess I'm vain that way. You know, I don't want to get fat. I don't want to be out of shape. I don't want my mental health to deteriorate. So that's what keeps me training, you know. I see a lot of people who don't have a hobby, don't have something like this. And man, you know, they're just, I can kind of see that things kind of are starting to kind of fall apart for them. But I feel like this has kept me together. You know, that's like one of my motivations is like, man, you know, I saw like, I get to see like how much jiu-jitsu has done for me. And that's what keeps me going. Cause I'm like, man, you know, like I'm in great shape and yeah, you know,
I had another
like,
question.
it could be otherwise, man. It could be otherwise. Cause I know a lot of people that I graduate there, you know, like respectfully saying they're not, and they're not in shape, man. They're not in shape. They weren't, doesn't look like they were treating themselves right. I don't know what the inner working of their lives are, but yeah.
Garcia Grip says, do you take character and behavior into consideration when considering promotions for upper belts?
Oh, of course. Of course. Of course, man. Yeah, I don't care how good you are, man. You ain't gonna get a belt from me if you're a piece of shit. Yeah. Yeah. Yo, yeah, here's another thing too. I mean, and we talked about this before, Alec. Like, I don't want to sign off on someone. I don't want to sign off on a shithead's belt, man. I don't want that coming back to me in my team. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give someone like a blue belt, purple belt, or whatever, black belt, and then it comes back that this person did some really fucked up shit,
Mm-hmm.
man. You don't want that. You don't want that. Character is number one for me. Various other things, but that's definitely something that I consider a lot when I give out belts, and I don't give out belts a lot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that is one downside to jiu-jitsu. It's kind of a pro and a con. Like, you don't give out belts, which is, you know, it's a good thing you don't give out belts.
Because people don't, and that's another thing too that we can move into.
Often.
I remember Timmy Spriggs, Mr. Crop Top, WNO champion, the best. When do we just say it? When I just like, no one's gonna.
Yeah, you can say
I feel like he is the best guy. He's the best guy right now because when was the last time all these other guys competed? Just saying.
Yeah, he's the best.
Maybe I can't say that, but hey, yeah, fuck it. I'll say it. He's the best until someone comes in there and beats him because he won that tournament, beat the number 2 guy in the world. Yeah. But anyway, he read an article, I think years ago, that talked about if you give someone a belt too soon, what's going to happen is they're going to go to another gym or they're going to go compete and they're going to get their ass kicked and they're going to be discouraged and they're probably going to quit. And one thing that he was talking about in the article is that a lot of gyms will give belts away just to keep people there. And they'll do it for the short-term profit. But in the long-term profit, this the person is not. I was about to say motherfucker. This person is, man. They're just not going to value. They're not going to value. I mean, they're not going to think they deserve it. They're not going to value it, and they're just going to quit. Happens a lot. You give someone a blue belt that doesn't deserve it. You give someone a purple belt that doesn't deserve it, and so forth. They're not going to value it. When they didn't really struggle for the belt, if they didn't really like go through a lot of learning, life lessons for this belt, they're not going to value it. They're just going to think it's a Taekwondo belt or something. And I'm not disrespecting Taekwondo. I'm just disrespecting how a lot of martial arts in this country have became, you know, about that. Just getting belts, people paying for belts. And I don't respect that, man. I'm sorry, but I don't.
I would list that as a con. Like, I feel like we always end up talking about belts. Like, you know, it's always, you know,
yeah.
Like as an instructor, like, man, just train. If you're ready, you get it, right? But then, you know, I see students always thinking about the belt, thinking about stripes. You know, maybe the owner of a school or whatever, they're asking you to give somebody a belt, and you're like, oh, that guy's not ready. So that's kind of one of the cons. Sometimes people don't always trust your judgment when you're, you know, the head instructor or, you know, the main instructor.
Well, I think, like, you know, like it's kind of human nature that people are always going to think that you're always going to have like people that are instigators. They're going to be like, oh man, shouldn't she be this belt? Like, and a lot of times, you know how instigators are. They don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. And they're going to be like, man, you should be at this belt, all this and that. They're going to say things to these guys and put these things in their head. And dude, and that's another reason why it's important to compete. So you freaking know. You freaking know. Because a lot of people, that's what they do. They don't compete. They don't put themselves out there. They stay in their bubble. and they're in denial, and they think there's something they're not. And I'm over here, and they might be angry at me for not giving them a promotion, but I'm like, yo, dude, this is competitions out here that you can do, and you can show your level. And the thing is, I'm not putting and I want to very much clarify that I don't put the precedent on winning. I put the precedent on the effort. I put the precedent on you going out there and fucking going for it. That's what I respect. Yo, dude, like I'm gonna say, I can't sit here and say that I won every match or every tournament that I participated in, but I fucking fought hard, you know? Yo, you got your good days, you got your bad days. Sometimes you go there, you're a little sick, you ate something that your stomach didn't agree with. You have a shitty performance. Right? And that's part of the game, man. I mean, shit. Dude, I cried, you know, I'm pretty sure we all cried before. Like, got our ass kicked or had a really bad performance, and you got to go hide somewhere and go get your cry on or whatever, get your little fucking, you know, your little 5 minutes of like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, you need that. You need a little bit of that heartbreak. It's good for you.
Berimbolo Cholo, that's a cool name. He says, what about people who have no desire to compete?
That's okay too. I mean, like, listen, all right. So if you have no desire to compete, then that's okay. But in my opinion, I feel like competition is the fast track of getting your belts, because what do they say about a competition? It's like doing one competition is like doing 100 practices. Sometimes what happens in the gym, and I'm not saying all the time, and granted, like, the state of mind that you have can change this from happening, but I feel like when people just train in the gym, they have the tendency of just preparing for their gym mates and not actually growing their jiu-jitsu. Because you know, you can be like, okay, so-and-so, they're going to play a lot of Dillahiba, they're going to play a lot of reverse Dillahiba, so I can just avoid that. Or whatever, so-and-so's gonna play a lot of spider, play a lot of butterfly, a lot of half guard. Okay, so I know what they're gonna do. Okay, and when they're on top, they're gonna try to knee slice, they're gonna try to full pass or whatever it is. You can prepare, you can get used to your training partners.
Yeah.
But when you go out there and compete, you don't know what the heck is gonna happen. You don't know what this person's gonna throw at you. So it's just a test, more of a test for your jiu-jitsu.
And I feel like, man, that's part of doing jiu-jitsu is to compete. Like, even when you don't want to, that's when your instructor, that's their job to kind of, all right, Jeff, you get out there.
Yeah. It is, and I got to inspire people, you know, and you know, sometimes people don't want to get out of their comfort zone, and, you know, they get kind of angry that they're like, well, I do this and I do that. Nah, man, get your ass out there and compete a little bit, you know? Like, I don't care. Like, yeah, I guess I'm kind of an asshole because I'll say things like that. Like, I don't care, you know, like, about the crying and the whining, you know? Like, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of your job is like, you have to be that asshole, you know?
Oh, yeah. But, dude, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your coach. I'm not your best friend. I'm not going to tell you that your shit smells like cinnamon and roses. No, it smells like shit. Okay? Sorry, guys. But I'm fair. I try to be fair. You know, I try to be fair. Because, you know, if I'm not fair, if I'm not that person, then things go to shit, you know? Like, I have to be I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect. But as the leader, as the teacher, you freaking have to try. You got to try. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard. And everyone should hold you to a higher standard because you are the leader. I mean, that goes back to what we were talking about with a lot of these people, these bold motherfuckers, really bold motherfuckers that pull this bullshit. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it, people. And that's another thing too, is like all the students out there, hold your professors to a higher standard. All right, hold them to a higher standard. Don't hold them to unrealistic expectations, but hold them to a higher standard. Yeah, I had to throw that in there. So no.
I think this IG live will last for like an hour, so we got about 5 minutes, Jeff. What's your advice to like someone, say you have a blue belt student that wants to become an instructor one day or have their own school one day? What would be your advice to that person?
Well, I would definitely say like, experience the best teacher, right? Experience is the best teacher. So I would say that, maybe as a blue belt, maybe start helping with the kids' classes a little bit. And maybe you might even be able to teach like some smaller classes when you're a purple belt, brown belt, and just kind of like we talked about, like learn on the job, figure some things out, start writing some things down. Yeah, put yourself out there, learn on the job. I think that's the best way to learn. You need to hold more black belts accountable. Yeah, we do. Hell yeah. Do we need to hold more black belts accountable in our community? Of course. Of course. Why the hell? I mean, yeah, of course we do. Yeah. I mean, you want to add anything to that, Alec?
I guess how should we hold our black belts accountable? Especially like a lot of these guys have like, massive followings. Those are the guys that get all the attention. And you have maybe like guys like us who have smaller audience. So sometimes it can be hard to like, maybe I want to call someone out, but then like, well, a million people are going to gang up on me and take me out.
Rest in peace, Alec.
He spoke up and they took him out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy like that, man. It's crazy like that.
I guess your money, your attention. If you see this person's, spewing hate or doing questionable things, don't go to their schools. Don't go to their tournaments. Don't watch them compete.
Yeah.
Don't buy their instructionals. Maybe try to support the guys that you do think are making a difference.
Yeah, the guys that you have exactly. Support the people that you think are making a difference. That's easy. The people that not so much, don't support them. That's that simple. Vote with your wallet, guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's so ingrained though. Like if someone's popular in jiu-jitsu, like man, they get away with everything. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's kind of embarrassing to the sport, to be honest. I feel like there's a lot more. In some ways, you could say there's a lot less accountability in bigger sports. In certain ways, because these guys have more money, they can just kind of. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like, if an NFL football player has pulled some of the shit that some of these jiu-jitsu guys have, I feel like it ruins their career. Yeah, they're done. Like, man, a team. Yeah, they're like, we don't care how many passes you catch the last couple of years. You're out for at least a couple of seasons. Maybe they can come back. That has happened.
There's no consequences
for the most part
in jiu-jitsu. Like, say you pop on the test for IBJJF Worlds and like, hey, you come back in 2 more years. You took a little vacation and you're back and doing the same stuff.
Oh yeah, and the thing is like, okay, fine, you okay? Well, you're gonna still do tournaments.
Yeah,
there was like this joke that I had. It's like ADCC, you have to be on the juice. You got things like that, Yeah, so it's like, there's no. That's another thing too that we can kind of talk about too, is that the rampant drug use in the sport.
That's too. Another. If you guys would like to see that, type of 1 in the chat room. We'll see how many people comment on that.
Tap 1. Oh, I'm gonna put it on there again. 1. We're not gonna name names. But guys, come on. There needs to be some transparency. Oh, someone else put a 1 on there. Let's have a little bit of transparency on this, guys. Oh, someone put 1 on there again. Put those 1s on there, guys. I'll put another 1 on there. Here we go. Oh, it's all Jesus and Asaid. I love that. It's all Jesus and Asaid. Oh, 1. Yes. Keep it going. Yeah, that's something that we need to talk about, man. I mean, shit, we can talk about we can even go even further and talk about just in general, man. Like,
we have to do another live live for that one. We can't do it
let's
right
do it, Alec. Let's do it soon, man. Let's not wait too long.
One for Jesus, one for Jesus.
One for Jesus and Saeed. Yeah.
So yeah, man. I think we covered a lot of good stuff, you know, pros and cons of being full-time jiu-jitsu instructor. I think it is rewarding. At the end of the day, you know, the cons, I think the pros outweigh the cons.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. I would not be doing it if the pros did not outweigh the cons. I would still be working at the dealership right now, probably. Or doing some other crazy shit. I don't know.
Firefighting, crime fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'll be a cop. I don't know. I'll be a good cop, though. I wouldn't be one of the crazy ones. But, you know, that's another thing, too, is like something I even thought about. Like, I thought about firefighting. I thought about maybe even getting into law enforcement or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, maybe someone like me should do law enforcement, you know, someone that actually knows how to fight, you know, someone that actually, I'm not saying there isn't, I know a lot of good cops that do train jiu-jitsu, and props to them, you know, a lot of cool guys out there. I'll even give some, I don't want to give them too many, I don't want to give, they know who they are. I guess I don't want to like say their personal names on IG. I won't do that, but a lot of cool guys in law enforcement, a lot of cool people in EMT, firefighting, a lot of ex-military people. Yeah, really good people. Very good people, very respectable human beings. And I love it. I love to see like people from those backgrounds, from that have a jiu-jitsu back or do jiu-jitsu in businesses like that, you know, or yeah, it's kind of cool. Oh, shout out to Stio, Irish Stio. What's up, man?
All right, Jeffrey, I want to thank you for coming on live. It's been awesome hanging out with you and just kind of sharing your personality with everybody. Because usually we're doing instructional, so it's just like we just do the technique, so they don't get a chance to like talk to us and interact with us.
Yeah, you know, normally I don't really like to interact with people, so this was kind of new for me. I enjoyed it though, man. I really thanks for having me on here, Alec. And let's do this soon. We can do the juice jitsu.
The juice jitsu episode.
Jesus jitsu. It's Jesus. I love that though, man. I love it when and I'll just say this one last thing where you got someone that gets interviewed for you can tell there's some enhancements have happened since their last performance, right? And I love it how it seems to me that they always are like, man, it's God, man, it's God. You know, Jesus came down, you know, I got hurt and then it would have took this long, but then Jesus came down and healed me and I was able to recover in 2 hours, even though it would have took 2 months.
Jesus came down, laid his hand on him, and healed him.
Exactly. That's what happened. Yeah.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to let you go, man. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your trip. Be safe.